What's up, guys? It's Daniela, and I'm here to give you another hot video today. If this is like a continuation from the last video, if you've not seen that last one, go and watch it. But that last video was about misandry, which is basically, men versus women hating men on the internet. And today we're talking about misogyny versus misandry, which is, if you don't know the meaning, misogyny is like underlying beef or like prejudice against women, and misandry is the other way around, like women having underlying beef against men, things like that. And that is why we have these guests with you today to talk about it. We're having this conversation about misogyny versus misandry. I'm here today with
Hi guys, it's your favorite body and it's very nice to be here.
Stewart says in the building.
Hi guys, it's Amarachi.
Hi guys, it's your boy Sergio again.
Now that we got that down and we know our guests, please, Amarachi, what do you think about misogyny?
Well, in normal sense, misogyny is not underlying beef. It is hatred for men, from men towards women. And misandry is hatred from women towards men. Now, this is men just hating men based on the fact that they are women. And misandry is women just hating men based on the fact that they are men.
Like it's more of hating femininity and hating femininity.
Yes, and while women hating the masculine aspect. Yes, that's what
misogyny also affects men. I
Yes, it's basically.
I agree with that to an extent, but then misogyny is just not men hating women. A woman can be a misogynist as well.
Hating women.
Yeah, a woman can be a misogynist, and a man can be a misandrist, a misand whatever, as well. Hatred is the key word here. You can be any gender to hate. There can be a man hating a man.
It's more
prejudice, hatred, dislike, or any form of that
Prejudice.
towards.
Prejudice is still better, but hate is a strong word. And then, are you hating on the gender particularly, or what the gender represents?
Is that?
Well, for misogynists hate women and the whole their feminine nature in general.
Yeah.
While misandry people they hate the masculine aspects of. So I feel like that is what they hate, the feminine and the masculine aspects of these two genders.
Okay, what do you think?
Personally, I think it's just not agreeing with the opinion or the idea of who or what this particular gender stands for. So it goes both ways. Men do not agree on how or the purpose of women, and then the other way around.
So when Sergio says that a man too can be a misandry,
A misogyny.
no,
Misandrist.
So
Misandrist.
why would a man be hating on a man? Like I don't even. That is confusing for me.
Offense. There are plenty things to hate, to be fair.
I think childhood plays a huge role as well. For example, growing up, if your dad was, this dead guy, this, scrap, this, yes, unavailable, absent, and every bad thing you can think of. If that was how your dad was growing up, you can develop this sort of hatred for men in general, because you may think, because that's your first experience with a man, be a male figure. So if that's your, like you say, first impression matters a lot. So if that's your first experience with a male figure, and then you are bound to have that mentality that, okay, this is how every man is, and you just develop that hatred towards men in general.
So would you say that's why some men are gay?
No, gay. That's another.
I feel like those ones are born.
Yeah, because if you
Gay
don't like,
has to do with natural with your.
Something wrong with them.
Some people are born gay. That's how you're born. You don't get
birth
to
to them.
You don't choose your sexuality now.
Let's not go in that direction.
Okay,
That's a comfortable.
Nobody's born gay. But I'm just thinking, like, if you feel like you said that you're growing up and then maybe your father was absent or he was a deadbeat father or something, and then you as a guy, and then I know that as much as nobody was born gay, but I know that there are some men that they were born with feminine. They are not feminine traits, so to say. Yes, they are not so like a man is supposed to be. That's why you see some fathers say, be a man, stop being like a woman. So, and then they are just so laid back. They are not into that other masculine thing. And then you see that those kind of people usually have more female friends. They tend to, go more with the female and don't like men. So I think that's where you say men hating men. I think that can come in there.
Yeah. Okay, so what do you guys think that brought about like misogyny and misandry? Because me personally, I feel like misandry came as a result of misogyny. Like they were using it to push back. Like, okay, well, this is how we're being treated, and we want to push back. We hate men now. So what are your opinions on that? What do you think brought about misogyny and misandry?
Different factors causes, misogyny and misandry. First, I would say, okay, first of all, a person can be born a misogynist, right? A person can also...
How
a person,
are you born that way?
You learn the things like that.
They are
okay,
learned,
just like you said earlier that people are not born gay, and I don't entirely agree with that. A person can be born with those traits. So it's the same thing with misogyny. You can just be born and then you just out of nowhere. That's why sometimes I see some people away from misogyny right now. I see some people with certain traits, and then I'm like, okay. And then I ask them if I try to find out rather if these things happen from childhood, and then they say no, and then I'm like, okay, where did you get these things from? It's not from your personal experiences from with people. It's not this one, So I now come to the conclusion that they were born this way. Of course, social media plays a very huge role. In fact, that's one of the major reasons why people become misogynists and misandrists these days. You open social media, for example, Twitter. I like to use Twitter for example, because you see many things on Twitter these days. You open your Twitter app, and then you're seeing if a man this, if a man that, men this, men that, and then if you're a person that doesn't have a mind of your own, you will definitely be conditioned to think a certain way and to hate a certain gender or whatever. So I think social media plays a very huge role in misogyny and misandry. And then there's a place of society, real life this time around, For example, now I'll speak on misogyny. You hear your elderly people. Okay, example now. I was watching a Yoruba movie like yesterday or something, and then a woman came to report to her mother-in-law that her husband cheated on her, and then the woman's response was exactly something like that, and then she also said you shouldn't be happy that he didn't bring STDs to you, or he didn't have a child outside while cheating. That's a form of misogyny we see. That's society we talk about, and this, exactly. So see why I said a woman can be misogynist as well. So that's just the thing.
I don't feel like she hates her gender at that point. I just feel like
she's biased and
that way.
Exactly.
They've been wired that way. That was a man's world.
Exactly. That's all the reason I don't think people are born with.
It's a settling. You have settled down to
that mindset that
it's like the way people around you can do your environment is influencing the way you think. And basically, from when all of us are small, we're taught things like, boys will be boys, they will do this thing, and there's nothing you can do about it.
You hear a man sleeping with a 12-year-old.
Exactly, that's what a man sleeping with a 12-year-old, and people were really supporting him, like, he has learned his lesson, he won't do it again, even though he was actively being proud of it. He was like, she was a young woman, she was very beautiful, and that's why I did it. He was saying it with so much pride, and everybody was like, he's changed now, he's come out of prison, he's okay. But then if he was a woman, they would not give the same. Do you get what I mean? Like things like that.
Anyway, I think I have an opinion. I think all this started from the Garden of Eden. Yes. The beast started from the Garden of Eden. Because in the Garden of Eden, God told Adam about the tree of good and evil and gave him instructions, don't do this, don't do that, blah, 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 And then Eve, she ate of the tree of good and evil. The serpent tricked her. And it was my records of the Bible said that she also gave to Adam, who was with her. That is controversial, but who was with her. And he also ate. So, and then when God came in the evening, what happened? Where are you guys? Like, we are hiding. Why are you hiding? We are naked. Who told you you are naked? You have eaten out of the garden of the tree of good and evil. And then the man was like, hey, it's the woman you gave me. It's the woman you gave me. It's the woman you gave me. But you are the one with the instruction. And they even gave you the apple and you ate. So I think the beef started from there. Like, men, women, they are evil. They are, and then women are like, Oga, step up. You lost your headship, because if you were told about if you were told about this thing, and then you saw me clearly. You saw me. Assuming you didn't even see me while the serpent was there, but I brought it to you like, okay, my man, take out of this. And you ate. Ugly, what should they have done? You're like, what did you do? No. No. Let it have been recorded in the Bible that was the first time a man hit a woman. Yeah. Then why would you do those things? God said, but no, he ate.
I think this story just further proves that lack of accountability started from them. From them.
You know that you always get to the point.
And again, another reason why I'm not bad at story. Hold on.
The person that wasn't being accountable was Adam. Because the instruction was given to him. He was there when she ate it. And he gave it to him. And
why did she give him? Did she not know the rules too? Why did she give him as well?
Who was the instruction given to?
And then when God asked,
why did she give him? She knew the rules as well. The same way the man knew the rules. Why did she give him?
Why did he say, okay, yes, so I'm sorry,
it's my fault.
It is the woman
that gave him. Is it not the woman that gave him? If the woman gave him, do you think the man did not see the tree as well?
But he was one giving the instruction, so he didn't see. But then they gave Eve to him. So, he was supposed to take care of everything in the Garden of Eden and also the woman. But then he didn't take care of the woman. He left her bored, and then the serpent came. And she ate the apple, and then she gave you the apple. You know that.
If it was that he didn't eat the apple,
it's excusable. But he gave the apple, and
he asked him, "Is the woman you gave me?"
Audie, please, I think I want you to say something.
It's just very simple. She's one-sided.
Oh, really? Am I? Am I?
Yes. Quick question. Was Eve aware that it shouldn't eat from that tree?
Funny enough.
No. Was she aware? It's a polar question. Was she aware that they shouldn't eat from this tree? Yes or no?
Okay, I think one record
yes,
of the Bible.
It's a polar question. Yes or no? I'll try to tell everybody. Yes or no?
Well, I guess
yes or no?
I guess she was because she told the serpent that they said that.
Yes or no? Yes or no? Yes.
Okay.
Oh, do you think she was aware?
She was aware.
You. My brother.
Of course.
So thank you.
But they also did not know the difference between good and bad.
She says she wants me to talk.
Fair.
So
and it was not a first-hand information.
Now,
it was second-hand information.
This information, it clearly shows that.
But can I make a point that it was a man that wrote the Bible? And who said that man?
Who said for me?
Who said that man?
I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one.
I'd like to finish my analogy.
Please do.
She knew, but went ahead to eat the food. She knew this clearly, but she went ahead to eat the food.
She was convinced. She was
if she did not know.
She was enticed.
She was enticed by
how these people speak.
Sorry.
If she did not know, I don't think the snake had to convince her that much.
His own gender was the snake.
Was it a male?
Yeah, it must have been.
I don't understand. Okay, what did you say?
Oh my God! The snake was a man. So, oh my! I never thought about it that way. You just.
Where in the Bible did you say the snake was a man?
Every time they address the devil, they always say he, proving the point that.
There's he. He's the gender. He's the whatever that is used to address everybody, whether male or female in the Bible. It's not.
No, there's a she in the Bible.
But majorly, is always he, right?
It depends on the context.
How many times do you say she?
You refer to the country as she. You refer to places as she.
No, I'm talking about when. No, hold on.
I don't think you should argue this because
when it comes to addressing humans in the Bible, he is always used to mostly or majorly, or maybe even all the time.
How can it be all the time now? There are even laws for men, laws for women, and then saying something.
Snakes now.
Please.
Where did that come from?
Said by you now. Said by you.
Where did that come from?
What did he say?
He said another name for women is snake.
In that time,
you responded.
in the Bible,
of course now.
in the Bible, the snake was a he, the snake was a man, and the snake deceived Eve. Meaning that men will deceive you.
Now, you see why this analogy is a joke to me, because as a man in this case now, as a father, as the man, as the head of the house in this case now, you know the rules as my wife. I lay down rules, right? Because I'm not to protect, I'm not to do this, blah, 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 right? So I lay down rules, and then you now went ahead to disobey me. Don't you think I'll be mad at you? So like I'm making my work as a man difficult for me. Why don't you just sit your ass down, shut your mouth up, and then listen to me, obey me? That's it. Because as a man in the house, the responsibilities on my head is insane.
That's why you decided to eat the apple as well.
No, I'm responding to her.
No, it's
know how ironic after all the shut up and sit your house and you're saying,
So after that, you see the rules given to the man. Think about some lots. See one given to the man. Yeah. I wish.
No, please speak English. I don't understand. Speak English. Say it.
The role of women is actually a lot.
Okay.
You just don't see it.
Exactly.
Because it's not in table doesn't mean it isn't.
And it's not in black and white
What are
like
the
that.
rules given to a man? What are the rules given to a man?
Can I director, please permit me to check the Bible and counter the rules, the commandment that was given to men and women, the children, so we can count if you have the time. Director, please may I?
Children will be okay.
May I? Host, may I?
You may.
Thank you. Sorry guys. You guys can continue. Why I get this?
Please, wait.
Me, I'm looking forward to what.
Exactly.
Even if the men were given more rules and responsibility, who was created first?
Exactly.
The woman was brought up as a helpmate to help and to assist.
As an emotional
To help make my work easier as a man. Not to now
Calm
wait,
down.
Now, calm.
Me saying-
The Bible says that Adam named all the animals, right?
Okay.
So imagine a lion now eating a goat. You now say, God, no, it's the lion, no, it's the animal you gave me. You are in charge. That's what
that
you
that your
you
equivalent
are
is
just in
flawed.
charge.
It is
You are in charge.
dead on arrival. Your example is dead on arrival because you are talking about humans here and you're talking about animals because you can't use the same thing that applies to us can apply to them. Now,
It's the same
hold on.
analogy.
If animals are in my custody and under my care to take care of, because I understand that I am higher than them a lot, right? I understand that some behaviors of theirs might be excusable because of what they are, right? But for a woman, you are wiser. You are higher than animals. So if you know something, fucking do it. Pardon my French, guys. I'm very sorry for my French. If you know something, do it. If a rule was given, particularly by me and by the person that brought us here, why don't you fucking? Why don't you obey?
Let me rephrase my example.
Okay.
Because I feel like you're really eating the women.
Okay.
My point is, as the man, you're being in charge of the house. I'm not saying that this woman did not obey. Okay, in the Bible now, Adam was giving the instruction, and then Eve knows about it.
Correct that Adam was not. They were giving an instruction. Don't say Adam was particular.
Exactly, because he didn't give the instructions till she came.
Yes.
Right? So what are you saying?
They were giving
Who
the
did
instruction.
God
Like, she dead on arrival. Sorry.
Who did God
God
hold
held Adam
responsible?
responsible. If you
Who
want to
did
check,
God
if you want
hold?
to check,
It's like we're
we
going
can
around in
actually
circles
check
and in
it.
circles.
Adam was the
No.
one giving the instruction.
It was Adam that was
If we
giving
want
the
to check
instruction.
it, Adam was the one who was giving the instruction as the head, as the
Exactly.
whatever. So if you are saying, okay, you give your woman instruction and all of that, or your children, and they go against it, trying to make your work difficult, at the end of the day, yes, I get your point.
At the end of the day, I will cut my child more slack than I would cut
Okay,
my
so
wife more
I think
slack.
I made my point that this beef started in the Garden of Eden. It is very obvious
Yes.
because we can't get to the end of it, so it's very obvious. So, please. Go on.
Make me commit the crime. They catch us. I said, oh, it's you that made me commit the crime. Nah,
You are sick of
It's you that made me commit the crime. Why did he force his mouth?
No, you
And
had
he
to use
was
the fruit in the
eating.
first place.
No.
You know what?
Yes,
Because
I ate.
the shit was there, Jaja, nobody touched it.
Okay.
You were both staring at
You are
it.
not getting it.
You're not getting the point.
The point is that, okay, yes, the woman earned.
Ate the fruit.
But you
But they
don't
asked
eat.
Adam.
Okay, that means you are both at fault,
Yes,
right?
so why did you say it is
Why are you
the woman
putting
you
the fault
gave
on the man alone?
Why don't you
That's
put
the
it before?
misandry we are talking about. That is the misandry. They hate men.
Because before you came, this man has lived in that garden. Never a time did he go to this.
Please, I feel like we're going spicy off topic here.
Oh,
Let's
now
go back
I
to topic.
I've been saying this.
Can we continue?
You are stressing our host, I beg.
Please, what?
Oh yeah,
Did
continue.
she have been there for that long? The man did not eat that food until she came around. I hope that makes a lot of sense.
But she didn't do it of her own. She didn't do it out of her head.
Yes,
It was another man that came to meet her and said,
Which man?
And she said, the devil. Is it
My
the
darling, let's give Adam
What
a
happened? Wasn't there a
Please
man?
ask your next question.
Please, moving on from Bible times, starting from we're talking about the digital age. We're talking about now, how things are now. Social media, is it like pushing this narrative of men against women, women against men? Tiwa, do you think that?
Yes, it's obvious now. It's obvious that social media is pushing, is
I feel
doing,
like it's making it
doing its
worse,
share. Yes,
but
now
it's
social
not
media is doing
exactly
it now.
The main.
It's not the main, but of course, you know, when you already have an idea in your head, or like he said, like if you don't have a strong mind, or you don't have a mind of your own, and you don't have your own what would I call
Principles
it now?
and standards and all those
yes,
things.
and standards and, you know, way of living. And then you just get on social media and you hear this. They say go right today, you go right. Go left today, you go left, you know. They say, men are scum. You take the narrative, men are scum, men are scum. And then it's like, men are the best thing, you know. So just have a mind of your own. You know, as much as, okay, we at the end of the day, we will all have something to say about men. We always have something to say about women. And then women will always have something to say about men. But the truth is that we can't do without each other.
True. Okay, so like, going back to the Kini, do you guys, which one do you think is more force down our truth? Basically, I think that's the only term I can use. Do you think misogyny is like force down our truth more, or the other one? Like, do you think there's more of, oh my gosh, men this, men that, men are this, men are that on the internet, or is more?
It's because
the
women
other way
are
around?
women are the vocal ones now. Because men are more
Men are
quiet.
really this.
Men are more quiet than women. That's why you
So
see.
are you?
You know,
Because have you seen the amount of men with podcasts that they just carry microphone and start saying anything on the internet, and you're saying women
These people are not
vocal?
emotionally mature, if you ask me.
Yes, but like
Both
I
genders,
feel like
if both genders are outside there doing all that rubbish, they are both not emotionally mature.
But I guess we're not emotionally mature because we're out here doing this.
that's true. That's very true.
You did not get my point. My point was, let's say I'm sitting down now, jobless, and I'm texting, yabbing a man, men are scum, all of that on the internet, and all of that. What I just said, a man is doing the exact same thing. This now is basically
Like,
we're talking about it, we're putting it
But
out
this
there for
one is
people to
like
hear.
But then, funny enough, those people that are talking, I want to believe they are talking from experience.
You know,
So
but
if they
then
have
this one, they're
experienced
coming out
something,
unprovoked. Like a lot of alpha males, let's put it like that. That's how they are.
And then if one person hurts you,
They are coming out unprovoked on the internet to come and
the rest of them.
talk trash about women. Like they'll be saying like, a woman's position is in the home. I can't date a girl who is big. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it's like, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you, and they just come out and say these things. So in my opinion, it's equal because women also do their own fair share of coming to insult men on the internet. So it's fair. It's both of them do the same thing. But these days, let me be honest, these days women do it more because. But then there's a lot. To be fair, there's a lot to hate about men. But
I don't know. I think across
that doesn't mean we should come out and be saying.
What was that?
I find
What was
it
that?
very funny how a host asks a question and answers it herself. Because you asked the question,
You know,
which is first on our truth, and I'm glad you answered this particular question by yourself because you gave like the actual answer to this question. So I would like to know your next question actually.
Please, before I go into my next proper official question, as a man, as men, do you think that all these things they're saying on the internet, does it affect you? Does it affect your person? Does it?
No, trust me. That's why I mentioned having a mind of your own. If you are well grounded in your standards, in your principles as a person and as a man, these things will move you because you already know what you know. You are your knowledge and your stance on so many things are well solid and grounded. So these things shouldn't shake you. So that's
sure you don't feel pressured in some way.
For me, yes, a whole lot.
Does it affect your self-esteem? Is basically what I mean. Like, does it make you feel like, women hate men?
You see, sorry to cut you short. I always say something. Social media is not real life. You see so many things on social media, but then you come in real life and you see this thing is totally different. So that's what I'm saying. Everybody can propagate, men hate women hate women. But in real life, there's one example I like to use. A woman, for example, or a feminist can take her phone and tweet something like, men deserve less. And she can be making that tweet while laying on the chest of a man. As I tell you, with social media, you shouldn't take anything you see on social media, seriously. So yes, that's where staying grounded comes in. That's where being having a strong knowledge and having strong principles, come in.
Okay, what about you?
Yes, it does. I'm futuristic, and it affects me in the sense that I might have a mind of my own, but we're in the digital age now, and I'm going to have kids one day, and then these people are going to come into life with this information to. So these children are going to come into life with this information to consume, and I don't like what I'm seeing nowadays on social media, especially coming from like the older gender. raising standards and all that. It's fine to raise standards, but if you are raising standards, kindly raise the economy with your standards. So,
That's facts. No.
yeah, if my female kids are to come or are to be raised in this generation, because gone are the days where children go out to play tente, tire, whatever, whatnot. But children of these days are like on their iPads and phones. 7-5-year-olds have their iPads and phones to play. So you don't even know when they start engaging on social media and all. You don't know what they learn in school, and all that. So you don't know what they're consuming. Your 10-year-old child is seeing a woman out there saying, if you don't have 10 million naira, clear. She won't bring that to the notice that this lady just said you don't have 10 million naira, clear. It just registers somewhere in her head, and then she's comfortable. And many other things, that they will portray not to be wrong. And children these days don't need your, let me say advice for no better choice of word or English language to act a certain way or do a certain thing. So, like I said, I'm futuristic. I don't like it now, but I can control it. But for the people yet unborn or yet to come, I'm not happy about it.
But I feel that's where parenting comes in now. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. That is why parenting should start from education should start from the home. So as much as there's a lot of rubbish there, you should be able to tell your kids that, this is this is that. Don't mind what you see over social media. This is actually the way it's supposed to be. This is the way to go and all that. So, and of course, I know there's so much you can do as a parent. You can't always be there. But once you instill that, it is now left for them to, decide that, this is the way I want to go. But they know because you have told them that, this is the way, this is how it should be. The same way they say, affirm your children at home, love your children at home, tell them I love you and all that at home. So when they are getting all that at home, they are loved at home. They don't go seeking for it outside. One boy is not going to buy shawarma and say I love you and then they just go because you love me, yeah, my father loves me, I'm loved at home and all that. So it's no big deal to me. So I think the family has a lot to do with that as well.
Very valid, I would agree. But on this sense, before there was just a triangular route to train a child: home, school, church. But now it's more than it's a rectangle because you have church, home, school. School is even worse, let me tell you. And then you have social media. Social media is the main training of children nowadays. If you tell a child X and that child goes on social media and sees Y, it's Y, they will come back and argue with you to the very last. And then why I said what I said is, you want to train your children, but not every parent can train their children. So you train your child, she goes to a boarding school, she meets other girls, they start influencing her, they start making her feel like, sometimes majority carries the vote. So she doesn't want to be like them. And there's a saying that if you can't beat them, you join them. So now she's not comfortable enough to come tell you at home that this is what I'm going through in school and all that. But then she has started using lipstick, hiding clothes to school, hiding her phones to school because other kids are doing it. So it's cool stuff. Do you understand? So you can't particularly control.
No, but don't you think that there is even a problem there? As much as you can't control everything your children do, and then you can't know everything your children do, and you can't know your children totally. But then when you say your child does not feel comfortable to tell you, your child does not feel comfortable, don't you think that then there's a problem? Of course, I'm not saying that your child can come to you for everything or with everything or whatever. But then there are some things like those, there are some things that your child should be comfortable, even if it's in the wrong, but should be comfortable enough to just broach it. Even if the child is not going to go direct, but broach it in a way that indirectly that as a parent that
the way you handle it,
and or they will even push something to you, and the way you handle it will make them know that I can't tell my father this, I can't tell my mother this, or okay, I can actually tell my mother this, let me hear this, So just my opinion.
Yeah, she's right. But the last thing I'll say to this topic is, for those people posting trash, right, they should be like the social media police. They should be arrested because, like he said, one woman can just be on her boyfriend, husband's chest and post nonsense to, lead these children astray. If you know you're a child, this is not for you. But if you know you're a band or don't follow, everything that looks right, you follow. This is for you. You are still a child. So yeah, there should be like a certain type of law for these things, like a way to control generate these things. Yeah. That's what I have to say.
I agree.
Okay. Thank you for agreeing. Okay, so before we move forward, please, what are some things that you see? Like, mention some of those things that you see that, like misandry, that makes you think that, okay, well, these are the things that these children are seeing that will not leave them on the right path. Mention like a few examples of things you've seen.
I've seen children like
Not children, like the things you see on the internet.
Against men. Or
Exactly,
against
that are against men. This is duties.
Okay.
you know, go first.
No, go, come on.
Please go first.
So I've seen children come online and say stuff like my boyfriend, like a 19-year-old. I don't think this one is
19-year-olds.
You're calling
Yeah,
it.
relax, relax.
One
I'm asking a question. I was going to correct myself. All right,
I'm
mom.
a grown woman.
You say so.
Thank you. I'm a grown woman.
All right.
I think I saw a 17-year-old wearing a boy's.
Yeah, reduce it.
Yeah, like I'm not sure, but she looks it. She didn't say her age, obviously. But this person is small, right? And she's like, if you don't have 15 Pro Max, if you don't have Mercedes Benz, if you can't date her, that is, I don't know. Like, me personally,
Does she
Like,
have
does she have
Mercedes-Benz?
say somebody
Yeah,
else?
she do go Mercedes-Benz.
I think you need to find your life, right? I think this child, you probably might see this. So I think you need to find your life. And I know there are many other people like you. And then there was this one that was sitting in the car with her boyfriend. 2 young people. And then she was telling me, I say, you know, like, I decided for you too.
Yeah, I think I saw that video.
Things. So if I don't know what she thought she was doing, but with that kind of information given to me by my babe, if I don't get that information, I mean, do what you want to do with that information. But me, I know what I want to do with that information.
You will leave my car that moment.
The person, the car owner gone probably knows that already.
True.
Well, that was his problem.
Already knew that too.
Yes, now it's Pablo generation now. It's you men that enable. Like I will always say, you men enabled it. So don't come back here and start complaining about it. You enabled it.
I would have countered this, but I wanted to finish. And I wanted to say this particular known sound that is everywhere. If you don't get money,
Hide your face.
that was like old. If you don't get money, clear. People are so more social media people. But yeah,
One
that,
person when you go.
Show workings.
So I'm sure we see stories, posts, and everything about women tweeting or posting that women shouldn't be cooking for men. Cooking is this, that, cooking. Just basically passing exactly. Just basically passing false informations that can.
How is that false information? Why am I cooking for you if I'm not your wife? If you're not putting a ring on it, I'm not cooking for you.
Okay, why are you in my house?
I've never finished drinking.
It's very funny when you say this, because I've heard women say the same thing too. But then you will come to my house, I will feed you. When you're leaving, out of my generous heart, because it's not something I'm supposed to do. You came to see me, you're supposed to go back to your house without me having to finance your transport. But then I still do that. And you're telling me you can't cook for me if I ask you to cook for me. My love, that's the last time you hear from me. I'm very honest with you.
That's
So
very understandable.
Okay.
I feel like how she talk about this thing is her own perspective now is not as somebody that has come to your house. It is her in general.
Exactly.
In your case, it's somebody that has come to your house. So I feel like there are perspectives to all these things. If a woman is staying in a man's house and both of them are cohabiting and they are dating, I don't understand the whole why should I cook for you? I don't understand. Because you are basically doing every other thing together. So why won't you cook for him?
Exactly.
But if it's that I'm not coming to your house, we just
what
meet
do you
outside.
okay, even if you're not coming to my house, I'm very sure the man in this case has at some point in time offered you financial help or help in any form.
Why do
But
you
then,
assume that the woman is not coming with her own transport money?
hey,
Because like, honestly, I don't think me I've ever gone to a male person's house
without
That's you
having
now.
money.
That's you now. But don't you know your female counterparts?
That's what we're saying from her perspective. She's talking as her person. There are other people out there that say, I cannot cook, I cannot clean. And then funny how there are people that also still cook and clean and have no problem with it. It is find your match and both of you should go.
Exactly.
End of
So
story.
sorry,
There's no
I want to say something.
passing
I
grades
want to
another
say something.
person.
There's really no argument in this, really, except you are just trying to be funny. See, when two people are dating, if you really do like each other,
Do those things
you will
without
do-
even being asked.
without even being asked, you will cook for your man because
It gives you joy as a
It gives
person.
you joy, yeah. It gives
Wanting
you joy
to
to
feed
cook
your
for your
man.
man because he wants it, he likes it, and you like for your man to enjoy your cooking and all
And
that.
you want to
And
make
it's
him
a
happy.
woman thing, So when you are happy with your partner, you just just want to do.
Except
You just want to do. You just want to give. So even the man
that
that is now saying take for your transport, he just wants to do it out of I appreciate this person, and it's not that it's not transactional.
Talk for your gender.
What?
Talk for your gender.
Yeah, I'm talking for my gender. It should not be transactional because if I
now they've made
I don't know about that people, but if I'm going to a man's house or whatever, or my man's house, either way, anyhow, I should have my own money for transport. For Christ's sake, I left my house now, so I have transport money to come and go. So, but if you now give me, okay, like I'll feel, yeah, that's nice. I feel appreciated. Like, oh, my man, that's a man thing.
I feel like there's some cases whereby,
but not that okay. I'm expecting you that I'm going home. Or you too. You have come, enter kitchen. It shouldn't be like that. It should be something that comes naturally in both cases.
And there are some cases whereby let's say the man has stated, how far I would like to see you today, all of that, and the person is willing to sort your bill. That is different.
That's different.
Says, I'll pay for your transport. I'm the one because some guys do that, and I'm the one who is calling you to come out. Let me pay for the transport, things like that. It is from his own, like you said, or he said his own goodwill. It's not that if you decide not to pay for it, if you don't want to go, you sit down in your own house too.
Exactly.
But the person says, I want you to be comfortable, all of that. The person has offered. Not like you have to now be waiting for, if you don't pay for my transport, why am I coming out? Those are classic.
Unrelated, but I believe as a person, dealing with somebody that is unwilling to either transport yourself, that is either unwilling or unable to transport themselves to see you or to come on a date with you, is how you attract nonsense into your life, either male or female. Yeah. So that's as an aside.
These people are such great people. Like, they are very good. I don't know. They have like very good home training.
The women, right?
Compared to what I'm saying. It's just, they're also talking about transport. I just see the standards these days. To invite a girl out, you buy her outfit, she's going to come out, you're buying the wig, you're buying the car.
It's not this intentional. But you know funny how I don't even. It's basically the whole entitlement thing, because there are men that naturally come to you and offer you all those things.
That is why I say it's enable.
The men have done that. A man can text you and say, I want to take you out. I'm sending you money for your hair, for your everything.
Yes,
so the next day,
those are the bad eggs.
The next day, this girl wants to go out to another person. This person is not going to go up to that same standard. She's not going to move.
Like this, one woman, they'll do it for her. She'll go and post it.
And then everybody's like, I want this. So if there are men like this, I want
do they have 10 heads?
Do I have 10 heads? So it is somebody that started it.
But then it's not
like I said, enable. It's the men that
enable. The man had the money and he was just doing from his own good way. And then the women are going to buy the entitlement mentality.
So in conclusion, please don't be entitled to any. Don't be entitled to
another person's money. Somebody to cook for you and to do God knows what. Please.
Since they said they have been women that have been good to some men, helping them start a business, and all that. Giving them money to travel out of the country and all that. So if these men, I'm going somewhere. You said enabling, right? Because there are some women that take care of men until
of course.
So if these people happen not to work out,
what did they get at the end?
Many of that story of women helping men to travel.
Because it's also why this thing started. It's also part of why this thing started. Because yes, so women just
many stories I've heard of women sending their husbands abroad or saying
and boyfriends or
let me suffer and
stealing their father's money to giving to man.
The men would rubbish them in the mud at the end of the day.
What I was saying is before they really interrupt them is that after doing all this, do you mean if these two don't work out, the next woman that is going to come into this man's life has to help him financially or whatnot? Because now they said we enabled it. I'm only trying to understand why it's seeming like one standard, like one sided rather. Because if I have a girlfriend that cooks and cleans for me and something happens and it don't work out and the next person doesn't do it, it's fine. We find a way around it. So if somebody pays for your date and all that, fine. Doesn't mean that the next person has to. That's entitlement, man. So you saying we enabled anything, we did not.
No, you
people just. So I don't want to say this thing. You will just find something that.
You made the point where I said they enabled it and women was the entitlement mentality. I did say that.
I just wanted to
Still, it's not every woman.
buttress it.
Yes, at the end of the day, it's not
Yeah,
every
it's not
woman.
everyone.
There are women that have bought the entitlement mentality, and then there are the men that have enabled it. So when the people miss themselves, they should walk hand in hand and go forward. And other people that cannot do said things should also find their own selves too. To each their own at the end of the day.
The problem now is the ones with the
Yeah.
entitlement mentality have outnumbered the ones that don't have this mentality. So it's like
That's-
game is rigged already.
That's true. I will agree
That's
to
what
that.
social
Because how
media
many
is at
good women
fault.
are actually coming out to say, oh, you know, I did this for my man.
Exactly.
No,
A lot of
you
them
see these
come
good
out.
women.
You're just not seeing it.
We are not seeing it.
Like
Women are
that's
still
what
doing
we
stuff for men. No.
We a lot of
No,
women are
their
doing things for men.
Instagram, their timeline page is corrupted.
Exactly.
They're
We are not seeing it because that's what you want to see.
No, the men are not bringing it to online. The
True,
men
and
are
the
not
men
bringing
are
it
not coming
online.
out saying
You know, it's
things
women
like
that
that.
really do showing up. You know, so
Exactly.
men because men will feel, I don't know, maybe they feel a certain way, so they don't bring it online.
This is nobody's business why I'm having this. Kudos to you. So I was having this conversation with my guy as to why if you don't marry Choma after how many baby mamas. So this is what I had to say about it. Choma is quiet. Every man just wants a good woman. You know, she dey cook, she dey clean for him, and all that. You never see, I haven't seen anybody trolling that day. Being the girlfriend before wife of like a very rich person. Most women will take advantage of that. Travel here, travel there, post sleepers, and you hardly see her.
Exactly. That's why.
After the dragging, they drag the door for cheating and everything. You don't see her coming outside to, address anything. Say what you want to say. Her life, marriage, relationship is not on social media.
Mm-hmm.
It's private, and that's why women like that keep on winning. Yeah.
So that's why when you see people say, that's why you mostly see people say, why do men want a submissive woman? Why do men want a feminine woman? Blah blah blah. But you never see a man say, okay, I once had a feminine woman, but I didn't like her. It's never that.
But they still
It's
lose
never
them.
that.
They still lose them somehow.
Of course, bad things happen, right? Shit happens, unfortunately. Bad things happen, unfortunately. But then doesn't mean he didn't like that. He didn't love that relationship
Yeah.
100%. No, you can never hear a man say that. For real.
Let me please speak from experience.
No, we are not talking from
What you say,
experience.
Going back to my original point of misogyny, why do men not like feminine things? Like they don't like to. Not necessarily they don't like feminine women. Yes, you want a feminine woman, but
I beg you.
you don't
Please
even like, you
rephrase
don't want
sharp.
to embrace femininity. If you understand what I
Give
mean,
us example.
like things
Okay.
like things that they consider feminine, like being emotional, being caring,
Being vulnerable.
being vulnerable. They
Vulnerable,
don't like
number
things
one.
like that.
Stamp.
But then
You ask a man
But
what's
then
wrong,
exactly.
nothing, I'm fine.
Eh,
But you
because-
want us to talk about it. And you want
Exactly.
us to-
But
you
you-
want
the
to
voice
come and
is
say, I'm not
everything.
asking
I said this thing in the last video. The whole mental health month. They kept saying, why are women not talking about it more? But why were men not talking about it?
Men that own the mental
Exactly, men
health.
that own the mental
And
health.
because
themselves,
always
they're not
study
talking
guys
about
don't
it.
listen now, so if
But
you learn to
women-
shut up now.
No, when a woman,
People are talking to the
I'm saying,
I'm
when
Why are
a
you
woman should
talking
come out
about
and say,
That's what
okay,
you always
this
say. Why is
what
the
me
right
I'm going-
person?
I gave
In
an
the comment
example.
section, a man will not be saying, but what about men? This is not about you, this is about that woman, and they are not making it about themselves. Do you get what
I
I
gave
mean?
an example about a guy that had four
You
friends.
don't talk about it
in
by
their
yourself.
midst. They
And
were
you're expecting
four friends.
people
I don't know.
to
I heard the story from somewhere. There were four friends. Always going to club together, hanging out every evening after work. And then one day, one of them committed suicide and died. And the rest of them did not know
They
that
did
he
not
was
know
going
it
through
was
something.
true, yeah.
Simply because they don't even sit down among themselves to discuss. and to
Exactly.
bond and
They don't
be vulnerable with themselves.
They are just doing guy.
How this guy is
Alpha
doing
guy,
this.
alpha guy.
You see why I always say,
You're not going
you see why I
deep.
always say, some things that you men say is because you don't know men. A man would rather talk to his male friend than a female than a woman. He'd
Okay, but she
rather
just gave an
be
example.
vulnerable to a man.
She just gave an example.
Well, that's just
They
a
were-
peculiar. That's just a case
they were-
peculiar to those people.
That's
But I'm saying me as a
like-
person, I'd rather be vulnerable to my guy than to because my guy, my friend won't judge me now. He can't judge me. But you as a woman,
Maybe you're the exception, but most men having conversations with their friends, they're not talking about anything deep. They're not talking about
Anything meaningful.
They're not talking about anything
how do you?
meaningful. Because I have see me, I'm a very big amebo. Like I like amebo like mad.
See, there's no amount of amebo you can do that you will know males.
And the majority
Yes, there are
of them,
times
they
when you
don't
can
talk
stay with
about
somebody.
it.
I have stayed with somebody for a very long period of time. Even when I'm not there presently, the whole gathering of their friendly discussions and whatnot. Every single time, their conversation is always going the same direction.
Exactly.
There's nothing. They're not
It's
talking
not
about
about
to view themselves. They're not talking about what they are feeling. They're not talking about being vulnerable.
What if they have a
About
group chat
their-
and they do these things there?
Can you imagine?
This
They are
is what
meeting,
I'm
they are
saying.
not talking. They are not going to talk about
100%
your group
access
chat.
to. I'm talking for people that have 100% access to. If I want to use my brother as an example, these are people that you've seen, okay, there's nothing like that, and then at the end of the day, they're not talking to anybody. My brother rather talk to me than talk to his male friends. Say, make the no see and finish.
You're a sister now. You
because
guys
I'm surprised that you tell your guy. Because guys don't like guys to see each other finish now. So I don't know why.
Except maybe you and this person are tight, and you know that
maybe childhood friends or something.
It's always one of you.
I still stand on this. Men are always more vulnerable to their male friends than women. So if you see a man, if your man is not vulnerable to you, he's probably vulnerable to his male friend because
you shouldn't expect your woman to be vulnerable to you now.
He's probably doing that because
there's also no expect your woman to be vulnerable.
You shouldn't be expecting your woman to be
because he's gotten burnt in the past. Maybe in the past he's been vulnerable to a woman before and then
is it her fault that he's been born in the past?
Punishing somebody else?
Exactly.
If as a woman has been traumatized by somebody else.
You don't dictate how a person behaves if they've been traumatized.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Understand that? Yes. Trauma is a very big issue, so you don't dictate how a person behaves. So if he decides, or if he decides to not be vulnerable to a woman again because he's been born in the past, so be it.
Okay, so
but she not ask the woman to be vulnerable.
Sometimes it's even subconscious. It's not like it's intentionally.
But she not ask. But you will not expect the woman to be vulnerable. You can't expect the woman to be vulnerable to you.
Same way, but then
because if you open up to me, I open up to you. But when I feel like I'm the only one opening up to you, and I'm not getting
I'm trying not to fight with you. I'm trying. I don't agree. Okay, so Emmanuel just said, Emmanuel gave the whole aspect of as a man being, being traumatized in your past and not being vulnerable.
Yes.
I now said, so if your partner has been traumatized in her past relationship and she's not
okay,
also
she's been
vulnerable.
Come on, stop! You don't do that. I didn't hear that now.
Okay, that was what I was trying to say.
You didn't say she's been traumatized in her past.
No, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
I was just basically trying to compare both of them. Okay, since you do understand, now that you hear she has been traumatized in her past relationship, please answer it.
Say the question again.
If, like you said, if you've been traumatized in your past, you cannot also be 100% vulnerable.
Okay.
So now I'm saying, if your partner has also been traumatized in her past relationship, would you expect her to be 100% vulnerable?
Well, we are also traumatized human beings and we should go for therapy. That's the solution.
Wow.
See, I'm just
wow. Hey, you can go for therapy with each other. Sorry.
That's why there's couples therapy now.
Hey.
As a traumatized person, I don't think that fit to be in a relationship. Heal first. So you don't rub off. This is why we have a lot of damaged people walking on the streets with their wounds, looking for somebody
Sorry,
to
can I ask you a
Please,
question?
I'm sorry. Can I say something? Can I say something? Let me tell you something. You cannot totally heal because even the therapist will tell you that you need someone else to heal completely. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
even the therapist says that you need somebody else
that you have
to heal completely.
The moment you find yourself
cannot
in a
heal
relationship in
alone.
that same situation, that's when you can now realize I have not moved on from this.
Exactly.
You think, oh yes, time apart from relationship, you've been able to move on. And then there's this thing that people say, what works for A might be different from B. For him now, he might stay 6 months on his own. Or Jesus, he might stay 6 months on his own, and then he has healed 100%. And for me, I can stay 2 years. I've not still healed until I get a
entangled.
Until I get a partner.
Before we even can I just say that this thing doesn't only, this is not only about relationships. This can also affect men. Like it can also be men being vulnerable to other men. I'm saying like no, this is not only about you are making it only about relationships.
Let him say.
You are making it only about relationships. It's not only about
let him say didn't you get like sorry, I know it's your show. But like before you change the topic, I have
talk ugly talk
about what you said. So like I was saying, you have to live first. And there's something I believe strongly. Time don't heal. Don't let anybody deceive you. If you believe that time will heal you, it will not. Because let me give you an example. If you break up with somebody and you don't see this person for that like stretch, the second you see this person, all that emotions come back rushing in. So I feel like you should confront whatever it is you need to heal from. Like confront your fears, basically. That's what I'm saying. And for men, because she asked the question, and for men, I will be vulnerable when I am very comfortable with you. And if you think I don't talk to my friends, we don't go to beer parlor and share our secrets. Nah, I'm doing one by one. I don't come out to tell everybody how I feel. I'm a one person. Like I'm a one kind of person. So if you are in my corner, trust me, everything, the amount of hair in my hair should know. That's like
how many?
Are you in his corner?
My secret will let me know. Do you understand? So the second moving on. second you make me comfortable to speak to me, meaning you show me your feminine traits, trust me. The quickest way to crack a man is
Be
feminine.
feminine.
Just show me your
Simple.
feminine side.
Simple. All that toughness, that hard-headedness, someone
You
carry
don't
on to
need
one side, I beg.
convince me. I will just start talking. The second, like, I'll call this to report myself. Like, do you know what happened right now? One boss just flashed down here and I slapped him. I've reported myself to you like that. So I'll be vulnerable when you show sign of femininity. Not when I am talking, your voice is louder. I'll shut up. Yes, I am trying to talk.
For real, that's the truth. That's the truth.
So, well, I've been trying to keep quiet. Well, as you can see, I've been interrupted more than 4 times. And when I shut up, people like Tiwa says, be like, Daniel, don't be like this now.
Tiwa says, stop doing that then. You're on fault.
Please do not. So, like, I was saying, you know, we are vulnerable people, so just give us the room to do that. Please, I think you guys should say what you want to say.
Okay, so what I wanted to say, this is not only about relationships, this is not only about men and women, this is about friendships too, because misogyny affects men as well. They say things like, oh, you can't do that because you're a man. Like, what would your skills will reduce if you do this thing as a man? Things like that. So I feel like we should have that conversation too. Like, this is not only affecting women. It's not only, oh, women should not do this, women should not do that because of men. This is also, men cannot do certain things because they feel like if there are other men who jest them, who make fun of them, who make them feel like less of a man, make them feel emasculated, basically. So I feel like that conversation also needs to be had, that you people are making each other feel like less. You feel like, oh, I can't say this because my fellow man will not like it.
And that also happens with women as well.
Exactly.
Because some women too, they won't want to tell each other. They like to do perfect, especially those that are in marriages. They like to show that their marriage is perfect. Meanwhile, they are beating them there. They won't talk, and they are dying. But they will be portraying, putting pictures on social media, showing the perfect family, but they're actually suffering, and they don't want to tell their friends because they don't want their friends to make fun of them or to think that, oh, they failed, because it's been engraved in the woman. Like, I don't know whether it's social conditioning or whatever, that the marriage is on the woman. If it fails, it's the woman's fault, and then it makes you less of a woman. It means that you have failed. It means that you are not you are not capable. You are not exactly. So most people would just rather keep their pain to themselves and keep suffering and suffering, and be judged about it. So it happens with men, with women as well. They don't like to.
Can I just say that? I'm so sorry, no offense. But then it's like, I was talking about how men are going through a lot, and then people just said, yes, but women. I know we're going through a lot, but anyways.
The men.
Men, you have the floor.
Well, for me, I'll say it's not all men, depending on who you have around. Shout out to you, Mr. Thomas.
But then it's like society.
Shout out to you, Mr. Thomas. When I lost my dad, I was livid. Like, I was very upset. Like, I didn't know how to handle the whole situation because it's the first time losing somebody I really love. So, this thing, men don't cry.
So that's another thing.
I was bottling up. I was holding too many emotions in me. But trust me, that period was my bad. Yeah.
You collect.
I went to see him, the mentor, and I was like, I'm very confused. Before I started talking, he just told me there is no right to mourn. Cry if you want.
Yeah.
Kick a bucket, break a TV. Just do anything that will make you feel better. Trust me, I broke down there. I started crying. But before I went there, just to buckle up and be uptight. Not to say too much. I took alcohol. I won't tell you the amount I took. I took so much, to beat my other records. So the second I started crying, this is an incident I'll never forget. I cheated on him, and for a very nice man that he is, he let me sleep in his room, bed, and everything. Shout out to you, miss. I really appreciate this gesture. And after that, trust me, I feel like a lot better after that day. I just had this peace after I could air out, cry, just be vulnerable again, just be like my own person. It's different when you're crying in your room, when you're crying alone, and now you have somebody there to just tell you can do it, guy. Just cry if you have to. don't break your TV. But just do whatever you have to do to feel comfortable, and that really helps. So not all men do this, and most of the time, I have this to say, most of the time when you see men telling men they're not supposed to be doing this, they are speaking from experience as to how, not this to women, as to how women have handled them when they did exactly what you're doing. What do I mean? If I have cried in presence of a woman and she's like, why are you crying? I'm not supposed to be crying, a man. If I see a man that's about to go cry to his girlfriend, trust me, I don't need one afar, a man or pastor to tell me to tell my guy not to do it. That is a wrong move. I hope that makes sense to you guys.
But why do you say woman? Why do you say woman? It's not just women that say men.
I don't think I've actually ever said
It's
that.
social conditioning. It's social conditioning.
Men grew up hearing, do not cry.
Exactly.
It's
social conditioning. It's not that it's a woman that we say, how can you be crying? Me, I don't like a man to cry. Me, I like a man to cry because it shows that you are vulnerable, you know, that you can be vulnerable. You know, exactly. I will not cry together. You know,
Because I don't know what to say.
because it's just another level. But why will you say don't cry?
Me personally, I've never
My
said
brother
that.
cried and I'm hugging him there. If you don't cry, we'll stand up on the place.
So
together.
if you all have this opinion, so who are the women that are now saying
Exactly my point. Who are the women that say this? Because
Like you
I don't think
said,
I
a woman will
I'm
go
not
to
saying
a
that
man's
they-
chest and she's tweeting something.
Exactly.
It's the same way they'll be outside there saying heaven knows what, but inside they're
Exactly.
If
So
that's the
it's
case,
possible that-
now, can we say you guys are putting on a facade? Because you just said something about women saying stuff and then going ahead and do a different thing. Can I say that's the case for you guys?
Have you
now?
seen any of us post something different from
Well, I
us?
wouldn't know. I wouldn't
no,
know.
no.
Yeah,
That's the only
but
way you can say
I
that
already
we're
told you
pushing
that some women, they don't like to let other women know the true picture of things with them. I already said that now. So it's possible that something else is happening in their life and then they are
something completely different.
yes, they are saying something completely different because they want to feel among and then they don't want to feel any less of themselves. It might also be inferiority complex, you know. So they want to feel like, okay, their life is all good and all that because of the societal standards for, you know, how your life should run. So, and if their life is not running that way, they feel like they are failing. So they don't want anybody to know that. So they only know about themselves in the corner of their rooms that, okay, this is how I really am. But when I get out there, my steez
Like
has to
those
be on
feminists
point. I have to
that
do this. I have to say
You're
this. I have
hating
to,
man,
you
you're
know.
hating men outside, but inside you're inside a
Exactly.
You can't let your friends know because you spoil your steez. Anyways, please, the conclusion of this shit is that both misogyny and misandry are bad. Everybody should start go to therapy or learn all this bad behavior. This society, everything that society has pushed into your head that you should not do this as a man, you should not do this as a woman, and people should start being honest. I beg. If you're a feminist, be a feminist. And if you have a boyfriend, don't lie online. I beg.
And you don't lie online. People should live their truth, basically. Just live your truth. Live your life. Just be.
Not even post anything.
Just be.
Just be posting something completely different.
And not to tell people that they are nobody to our boys and your ex-boyfriend and this and
We did not hear that one.
I don't know where you're
and
getting your
not to be a feminist without knowing what being a feminist is.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
There are actually some types of feminism that are toxic.
That's right.
We're not getting into that today. So that's the end of my show. Please like, comment, subscribe. And please, if you have anything that you want to add, tell us now. If you have anything you want us to talk about, please say it in the comment section. That's all for today. Bye-bye.
Bye guys.